We have a human speaker, and then we're going to have a non-human speaker. So someone that comes all the way from France with a very interesting background as a sculptor and a designer for many big brands for many, many years. He founded in 2012 a company that's called InMove, which was the first, they created, among many other things, they have created the first 3D printed life-size robot that has existed in a crowdsourced way in the world. So, without further ado, I want you to meet the robot and his founder and creator, Gaël Langevin. Please, big applause.
It's good here. All right. Yeah, it's good. Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to be over here in Madrid. Thank you. Very glad to be over here in Madrid. And I want to thank the South Summit team for inviting me over here for the first time. So, I'm here to present the project InMove, which is a robot, open source, and completely 3D printed. So it's open source. And what does that mean? It means everybody can download the parts and reproduce them on their home printer. So you can make this robot. For example, in Italy and in Russia, there's a group of students that have set up a process to teach deaf children how to learn the sign languages using this hand. So they 3D print the hand, and then the children can learn how to do the sign language. In Sacramento and in London, there's 2 schools of students that are 3D printing this robot to put it in hospitals for children that are in rooms that are sterilized, so they can remote control the robot outside the room using a remote control and an Oculus Rift. So it's pretty cool, actually. I do a cool job. I'm a sculptor designer, and I create objects for my clients on demand. So what it means is you come up to me, you want an object that doesn't exist in the shop, and you tell me, I want this kind of thing, I design it and make it for you. So one day there's one client that came up and he said, for a commercial, he said, I want to make a prosthetic hand that looks totally futuristic, something that we've never seen before. We were in 2011 and I just had bought you know, those 3D printers, little home 3D printers. So I thought, maybe I could 3D print that hand. I made the price, I was too expensive, the job didn't happen. But actually what it did, it sparkled my imagination. How do I make it that it looks totally futuristic? So I went on the internet, I looked, is there some 3D printed prosthetics? In 2011, there was no hands 3D printed. So I modelized the hand, printed it, added some motors, programmed it, and then it could move. Wow, that was really amazing. So I decided to share the files on the internet. I had been for a long time using Linux as open source. I had been using Blender to modelize things in 3D. So I shared all the files on the website that is called Thingiverse. So this is the hand once I had built it up and with my little printer. And this was the first hand, which is actually pretty much the same than this one. Then, because I uploaded the things on the internet, it went really crazy. Within a month and a half, there was more than 70,000 downloads. So I thought, wow, this is amazing. Let's go on building. So I decided to keep doing the process, making the bicep, then the shoulder. So you can see here the shoulder and the bicep. And then I just kept going, making the rest of the robot. You can see the eye mechanism. Everything is printed inside. So every time I was doing a part, modeling, I would share it on the internet. So a bunch of people were following the project, and they had their own printer, and they would reproduce those parts. So I was creating slowly a community. So how did it happen? Well, actually, building a website so everybody could download the parts, because today, anybody here in this room can reproduce this robot in his home, schools, universities, for less than 1,500 euros, this complete robot. So this robot has been built up in 68 countries, more than 70 universities, but not only, it's in fab labs, maker spaces, homes, schools. There's even parents with their children printing the robot in their living room. So it's totally amazing. We've got more than 400 copies of this robot throughout the world. So I'm going to show you now some examples. For example, this on the bottom right, he's making the hand move with the EEG sensor on the head. It has been used for countless projects in 3D printings. You must have heard of it in the medias. I have a little bit of a hard time to make these. You see, with the brain, he's making it move. It has been used by Nicolas Huchet, which is a French man. He used it as a prosthetic. It has been used for many projects as prosthetics, but not only. So in different countries, Poland, Russia, Georgia, there's some tests for people that have lost their limbs, so they can try the hand to see if they memorize the muscles. This is in Russia, in America, Italy, Holland. In every country, everybody's building it, different colors, different shapes, and that makes the project very interesting. See, some more colors. I like the green one, actually. It looks a little bit like a greenish stuff. And then they are working also on wheel systems, so the robot can drive around. This one you can see has legs. It's not functional. So the top part is functional, and the legs are just for standing. I have another one. This is the number 2. I have another one that is on wheels that can drive around. So you can see, for example, on the bottom left, it has a whole system to drive around. It can move by itself through the doors. It can grab some objects. The top one that looks a little bit goldish is also driving by itself. You can see in the middle when you are teaching the robot. So the robot has a Kinect over here. And when you make some movements, the robot reproduces your movements, and you can tell him to remember those gestures. Yeah, it's not an autopilot in the car. It's people that are driving the robot to some place. And I think those pictures are pretty funny. It's interesting to see how the robot can sit in the car, just like we do. So other projects. On the top left, it's KAIST in North Korea. That is trying to fly the plane with the robot. Personally, I don't want to be in that kind of planes. Let's wait a little bit that it works better. On the left bottom, the hand is doing rock, paper, scissors, so you can make some gestures, play with the hand itself. I'm going to try to make it move to see if it works. Yeah, you see, there's a sensor, infrared sensor, and when you move the hand over the infrared sensor, the hand can reproduce the gestures you are doing. And it can shake people's hand. This one can, actually. You can rock, paper, scissors. All right. So, how did InMove help so many projects? This is very important. By setting up a website where all the files are well stated, so you can download all the files for free because it's open source. Then there's explanations with tutorials that are done with pictures, that are also done with sketches like this. Making a community is very important so people can collaborate, discuss between each other, and make the project evolve. And this is how I discovered a software that is called My Robot Lab. My Robot Lab is a framework Java software that controls the whole robot. So it is created and developed by developers throughout the world. Let's see if there's something. Yeah. So this software has 2 cameras in the eyes. It's using also a Kinect over here to see in 3 dimensions. You can do some slam motion. That means you can drive through doors and things like this. There's servos everywhere in the robot, a PIR sensor that helps to detect motions. Then there's voice recognition, so you can speak with the robot can speak back. Sometimes he's telling some jokes. We'll see if it works at some point. There's artificial intelligence inside, which everybody's working on. It's doing kinematic ability. That means you present an object, and it tries to grab the objects in space. This is something we are working on. It's not yet ready. It's doing some cloud sharing. That means if I teach him something, let's say I show him a red ball, I tell him it's a red ball, he's going to see it in 3 dimensions. He's going to be able to share it on the internet, so the other clones are going to be able to recognize the red ball and say, it's a red ball. Sometimes it works. It doesn't work so well yet, but it's something that we are working on. And then, of course, some deep learning services within My Robot Lab, which means that the robot has algorithms to learn. OK, let's see now. Let's see. Everybody's waiting, right? Relax. Relax. Oh, this is scary, isn't it? A robot that doesn't work. Rest.
Did you say, look at this?
No.
Sorry.
Rest.
Did you say, rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Movement number 4.
Did you say movement number 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to see that all the fingers can move. There's tendons that actuate each fingers. He has sensors in the fingers. The cameras in the eyes allow him to see what he's doing, and he can fall in the back if I don't hold him. You can see the gestures. It's very important as a sculptor to create gestures that are more human-like, not just moving like a robot. It's very important that it makes gestures that are almost like a dance, and this creates the ability for humans to have empathy for the robot. Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I love you.
I love you too.
Hey, that works. Are you okay?
I am very super mega bored.
Sorry.
No problems.
Delicate grab.
Did you say delicate grab?
Yes.
Okay.
Close your left hand.
Did you say approach the left hand?
No.
Sorry.
Close your left hand.
Did you say close your left hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Put it down. Put it down.
Did you say put it down?
Yes.
Okay.
Drop it.
Did you say drop it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Hey,
Did you say
that's a nice thing. Relax.
Did you say relax?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you can see he's going slow. He's not very fast. This is a version that costs about 1,500 euros. That's what I explained. So the motors inside are very small. We can use RC little cars with those motors. But mainly, why did I do projects like this? Why did I share it on the internet? Well, I think it's very important today to be disruptive. And I think we are talking everywhere about disruptivity in companies and so on. And I think we shouldn't be only disruptives in companies. We should be disruptive in the world. Throughout everything, change the things, see the things different. By open sourcing, you will have people coming to your company, helping to build up the process of developing some products, and it's going to change the things. And why robots? Well, why robots? There's a lot of people that I think are saying, robots, do we really need some and all of that? Should we go on with robotic? Actually, the robots are everywhere already. Even in my home, I have a washing machine. It's already some kind of a robot. There's a very simple program. I can put it on. It's doing the washing. And then when it's ready, it stops, turns off the electricity, and so on. So we have robots everywhere. But why human robots? Well, it's important to have human robots. Because the other day, my washing machine was broken, and I tried to talk with it. It didn't work really well. And then afterwards, I wanted to send it to do some groceries for me, and it absolutely didn't move from where it was. It didn't even respond or anything like this. When you have a robot, humanoid, you can tell him, go and do the groceries. He can go in the shop, can take the things in the shelves, the same as you do. It can sit in a car, just like you do. It can go down the steps, just like we do sometimes, and we can fall. So I think it's very important to build robots that are humanoids. And why doing this at all? Because it's true that having some robots and an artificial intelligence in the future can be something very scary. We actually don't know what we are playing with. That is why I think it has to be disruptive. That is why I think open source has to change the things. Because an artificial intelligence that is going to be built up by every one of you, is going to make a big difference. Do I want tomorrow to have a robot like this in my home that has been built up by a company with things inside? I don't even know what's going on inside. There's cameras, it can look at me, it can do things in the house. No, I don't want this. I want a robot that if I want to see what's inside the robot, I should be able to. So, open source has to change and will change the things. And open source is very secure. There's a lot of systems today that are using more open sourcing than companies' products, because everybody's working on the programs, everybody develops the things that are inside. So that's why I'm making a robot, and that's why I want this robot to be built in schools so everybody can use it and create what we're going to have tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Hey.
So he's not going back by himself yet, huh? That's not scary. That's
Are you sure?
better.
Robot, get back?
Get back.
No? Not working? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
Big
very much.
pleasure, Gaël. Another round of applause to Gaël and the robot. Thank you very much.